Hello, my name is TaChelle Lawson. I am the president of FIG Strategy and Consulting based in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to my channel. I am back with another unpopular opinion, and today we're going to be discussing how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would not be a fan of DEI. Before we get into the discussion, please take a moment to like, subscribe, turn on that little notification. This literally takes a moment. But at the end of the video, if you learned something, if you hated this video, if you loved it, whatever thoughts you have, if you feel comfortable sharing, please say something in the comments. I love engagement. I'll definitely respond within reason. I can't respond to everything. But this is something I feel very strongly about, and I think it's time for us to start changing the narrative around Dr. Martin Luther King, Black History Month, and more importantly, what inclusion really means. Let's get started. I personally believe, based on all of the teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King, that he would not be a fan of DEI as it stands today, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And let me emphasize that Dr. Martin Luther King, based on his teachings, would have been the pioneer of DEI. Emphasis on the I, inclusion. His whole dream was about equity. It was about Black people in this country having equal rights to white people. It was not about Black people superseding white rights. It was not about white people now being in debt to Black people. It was essentially, what are we doing? And why on earth can't we all just accept we bleed red? His teachings were about inclusion. I don't think for a second that he would be okay with where diversity, equity, and inclusion stands right now because of the emphasis on the exclusion. I have said this many times before. I believe it with my whole entire heart. You cannot have inclusion if you are excluding anyone, full stop. That seems more than reasonable to me, and I am confident that Dr. King would have shared that philosophy. So this Black History Month, when you are posting, when you are sharing, when you are celebrating Dr. King, remember this. He stood for inclusion. He stood for equality. So be mindful of what you're putting out there. And for the corporations, I urge you to stop only speaking to your Black employees during Black History Month. I have seen this countless times where a couple of weeks before Black History Month, the marketing department, the communications department, whomever, reaches out to every Black employee they can find to ask them about Black History Month. I'm sorry, did they only teach Black History Month in school to Black children? As far as I understand, Black History Month is about acknowledging the history of Blacks within this country. And I don't think that only Black people have knowledge about that. So check yourself, take a moment, and ask everyone. Again, Dr. King stood for inclusion. Ask everyone about their opinions on Black History Month, their experience, what they've learned, what happened in history that was pivotal for that person. What do they think about Black History Month? What are they proud of in terms of the accomplishments? Think about that. This month, by definition, is excluding other people if we're not inviting them into the conversation. And that's not what this is about. It's just not. I challenge you to change the way that you think about this. Black History Month is for everyone. And it's not just about slavery. There, I said it. It is about history, sure. But what's happened in the last 10 years? What's happened in the last 5? More importantly, where do we want to see progression over the next 20 years? So that when our kids and grandkids are looking at Black History Month in 20 years, what stories would we want them to be able to relive, to be able to share, learn from? Think about that. We all play a role in determining what Black History Month looks like. And remember, Dr. King stood for inclusion. Thank you very much. Please leave a comment, like, share, do all the things, and I'll see you next time. Take care.